You save a little money, you put it away, you check your account. The number is small, it feels like you're getting nowhere. A single car repair erases months of work. You wonder if you'll ever get ahead. It feels like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. Most people think the problem is simple. They just aren't saving enough. But that's not quite right. And the real reason building wealth feels impossible at the start is far more interesting than you'd expect. Because the first few $1,000s you save aren't just about money. They're about buying back your own mind. The first part of the answer has a name. Behavioral economists call it the scarcity mindset. In 2013, researchers Sendhil Mullainathan at Harvard and Eldar Shafir at Princeton published a landmark book explaining the idea. They argued that when you're constantly worried about making ends meet, it imposes a cognitive tax. Your brain has less bandwidth for everything else. Long-term planning, creative thinking, even self-control. It all gets harder. They ran an elegant experiment to show this. They gave people a series of cognitive tests, but right before the test, they asked them to think about a financial problem. For half the people, it was a small, manageable car repair of a few $100s. For the other half, it was a major repair costing thousands. The results were staggering. The people wrestling with the big financial problem performed dramatically worse. Their cognitive function dropped by an amount equivalent to losing 13 IQ points, or losing a full night's sleep. This is the invisible force holding you back. When you have no margin, every small problem becomes an emergency, and your brain, stuck in emergency mode, can't build a path to the future. Your first savings cushion isn't just a number in an account. It's the moment you stop paying the cognitive tax. It's the freedom to finally look up. But that's only half the story. And honestly, what comes next is even more powerful. Because escaping the trap is one thing. Building momentum is something else entirely. Think of building wealth like spinning a giant heavy flywheel. The first few turns are brutal. You put all your weight into it, and it barely moves an inch. It feels pointless. This is you saving your first few $1,000s. Every dollar is a monumental effort, and the results are almost invisible. But you're not just adding money, you're storing energy. With each push, the wheel gets a tiny bit easier to move. It starts to build its own momentum. Soon, a small push creates 2 full rotations, then 10, then 100. Eventually, the wheel is spinning so fast, it's pulling you along with it. This is what your first $10,000 does. It stops being just a defense against emergencies, and it starts becoming a tool for offense. It lets you take a risk on a better job. It lets you move for a new opportunity. It lets you avoid a high-interest loan. Each good decision made possible by that margin adds more energy to the flywheel. But there's another layer to this, and it might be the most important part of all. That first milestone doesn't just change your bank account. It changes you. For years, your brain may have told you a story, that you're bad with money, that you'll never get ahead. Saving that first significant amount is a direct challenge to that story. It's an act of defiance. In her work on habits, psychologist Wendy Wood at the University of Southern California has shown how our actions shape our beliefs, not just the other way around. Every dollar you automate into savings is like casting a vote for a new identity. The identity of someone who is in control, a saver, an investor. That first $10,000 isn't a finish line, it's proof that the old story was wrong. So here's what's really happening when you start to build wealth. You escape the cognitive tax of scarcity, freeing your mind to plan for the future. You start a momentum flywheel that begins to turn on its own, and you rewrite your own identity, proving to yourself a new story is possible. It wasn't one thing, it was everything all at once. Everyone who has built wealth has passed through this phase, a long period of intense effort for almost no visible reward. Most people give up there. They mistake the flat line for the final destination. But the hardest money you will ever earn is your first $10,000. Because it isn't buying you things, it's buying you a different future. The freedom from fear, the freedom to think, and the chance to become someone new.